Hi, I'm Jalen Rose, and welcome to the Renaissance Man podcast, proudly presented by the New York Post, a show where we cover trends in fashion, entertainment, current events, and everything in between. My next guest is a Grammy award-winning DJ, producer, industry tastemaker, who is renowned worldwide as a trailblazer, innovator, and pioneer of DJ culture. Just to name a few, he's produced tracks also for people like Snoop Dogg, Jay-Z, Madonna, the late great Heavy D, 50 Cent, and more. As we celebrate hip-hop's 50-year anniversary, this man has been there from the beginning and done that, creating mixtapes, highlighting up-and-coming artists, and continuing to set the pace. It is my honor to welcome the incredible Kid Capri.
Mr. Rose, what's up, brother?
What up, my brother? How you doing?
I'm blessed, man. Thank you for having me, man. It means a lot.
My pleasure, my pleasure. And you were born in the Bronx, the birthplace of hip-hop.
Well, no, I was born in Brooklyn, and I was raised in the Bronx. As a young kid, I moved to Brooklyn before hip-hop started. And then when it started, I was already there. So I was raised in the Bronx with it. And, you know, that's where I'm from. But I was born in Brooklyn.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I'm glad. Thank you for that note. Born in Brooklyn, raised in the Bronx, the home, the birthplace of hip-hop. Tell
Absolutely.
me your first introduction to what we now call hip-hop.
I was standing on the block, and a guy named Gerald, one of the older guys, he was playing dice. He was shooting dice, and he was taking the dice and going, yes, y'all. To the beat, y'all. And he's throwing these dice and he's saying, yes, y'all, to the beat. I'm looking at him saying, what do you mean, yes, what are you saying? What are you talking about? That weekend, that Friday, I went to a party in the club in a spot called Marble Hill Projects Community Center. You get paid for $1. You go see a group called Rockwell, DJ B-Boy, and I seen the MC on the mic with an echo chamber going, yes, y'all, to the beat, y'all. And I said, yo, that's what he was saying. So it was brand new. After I seen that, I ran home and told my mother I wanted to be a DJ. She didn't know what I was talking about. We didn't have a whole lot of money at the time, but she bought me a mixer that had no headphone hole in it. It was a little cheap mixer, but that mixer was my first mixer. She bought me a little tape deck. My man had turntables up the block. I took the mixer up the block to his house. He'll buy a record, I'll buy one. And that's how we started. I would get better than everybody else because I had no headphones to hear it. I had to guess all the spots on the record. So that made me better than everybody in the neighborhood. And I ended up staying with him. It took me all the way up, man. It was an incredible time.
Shout out to Gerald, by the way, because that yes, y'all has transpired over 50 years. He need to be getting some sort of trademark royalties or something from that.
Absolutely. There's a lot of different things. Say ho.
Right.
And you're like, there's so many things that was created through hip hop, man, that people don't get the credit for.
Absolutely. And technology clearly has changed over the decades. So enlighten us on how it was for you setting up then. Now people don't carry records. They don't have to carry their equipment. Talk to us about the origin of you practicing your craft before you started doing parties.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't as easy. You know what I'm saying? Back then, you had to carry up a lot of stuff. You know, I wasn't always known, so I had to bring my own things and my own equipment. Brought records, carry records all over the place. And when I got known, I ended up buying 2 tour buses. I'm the first doing the hip hop to own tour buses, because I was carrying those records all over the country, doing shows everywhere. So I said, I'm buy these buses. This bus, my first bus, and that's how I traveled. And I went and bought a bigger bus. And at the time, you just rented a bus. You didn't really buy a bus. Your album came out, you go on tour, be out for a month, 2, 3 months, whatever, come back and you return the bus. So when I bought my bus, it was well monumental at that time. But it was helping me get where I had to go because I was traveling around the world with 15 crates of records, paying all the extra weight, paying all the extra whatever. It just got a little crazy. But at first, it was fun. I mean, setting up I always hated hooking equipment up in shows, but At first, it was what we had to do, is what we had. There was no technician, no technology. It wasn't no internet. It was none of that stuff. It was the grind. And that's why I appreciate everything I have now. I appreciate what I do every time I'm on the stage. You know, it's like the first time, because I remember those days when we didn't have nothing. You know what I'm saying? We were trying to get somewhere. And, you know, you had a bunch of people in our face telling us that this is noise and, you know, it ain't going to be here long. And what is this noisy thing you're doing? And 50 years later, I'm doing the Superdome. I'm over here giving the biggest BET show there is. Like, I was there when they told us it wasn't going to last. So, you know, it's definitely it's definitely something that took care of everybody involved, that really took it serious. You know, it changed people's lives forever. And they've been doing it for 50 years.
For those that don't know, I'm going to name a couple of people that are responsible for what we now see as rap music, hip hop, and celebrations of the culture. Kool Herc.
He's the pioneer. He's the first. Like, he's the one that took something that was already there, records and breaks and beats and funky music, and just put it in the hood. Just let the hood hear it and let the hood dance to it and understand it and absorb it. And this is 1973 we're talking about. You know what I'm saying? So that party that happened on Cedar Avenue, in that building, which we're about to do something major, me and KRS-One about to do something major in front of there. That building, what took place on that day in that building was the beginning of something that's going to be all the way to 2023. This is 1973. We're talking a long time here. So, you know, for him to make that move, that what he did, I'm sure he didn't understand what he was doing at the time. You know what I'm saying? But being that he did do it,
no doubt,
this is the history that it is, and what's laid down for years to come. You know what I'm saying? And you know, he should be revered in that way. He should be celebrated in that way. And it took a long time for people to really even celebrate him in the way that they're doing right now. But he deserves it, definitely.
So gather around, boys and girls, because you're about to get scripture today. I'm with the legendary DJ Kid Capri, and I actually was born in 1973, and I always joke that hip hop and I are cousins because we grew up together. So I have another name for you, Africa Bambaataa.
The other one, man, Africa Bambaataa. He's from the same era, and he comes from the same thing. And what happened with Africa Bambaataa, he became the master of records. He was the one that was known to have all the records. Like, it was crazy. When you seen the flyer, have you ever seen a Soul Sonic Force flyer with Africa Bambaataa on it? Before they said his name, they would say Master of Records, Africa Bambaataa. So he was like way ahead. And then he was doing organized things in hip hop. Like, he was trying to like get people to organize and you know, and just be self-efficient. You know, didn't have a lot of resources, but what he did have, you know, he used well. And he made some dope records. He made some incredible records. Planet Rock, Monumental, Here Forever. Looking for the Perfect Beat, same thing. Like, he definitely put himself in it in a way that is going to be forever for him.
And I have to complete what is known as the Holy Trinity. Grandmaster Flash.
Grandmaster Flash, brother. I just did a show with Flash in Central Park recently. We just did one a couple of weeks ago. And, you know, with Flash, me and Flash called each other. Every time I call Flash, it's like a privilege because, you know, it's Flash. You know what I'm saying? And he would come to my shows and see this pandemonium going on and what's going on. And he just turn around and say, yo, I'm so proud of you, man. Like, you took it and just made it what it is. And, you know, what you did, he took it to another level and made it able to bring money to it. You know, keep in mind, these dudes, they're my heroes because they didn't get the money and the accolades and all the stuff that they should have got, that I've gotten later on. You know what I'm saying? Or others I might have gotten later on. Now in Hip Hop 50, you're seeing everybody together. That was one thing that was great about the BET Awards that I did, is that the one thing I wanted to get across was to get the older and the younger together at party and have a good time, enjoy each other's music, and there's no separation. You know what I'm saying? And I think I hit the mark on that when I did that. And that's been a problem for a long time. But hip hop, man, it's never supposed to be an age thing. It's never an age thing with me. It's always about what's good, what gets the job done, not what's popular, what gets the job done. You can get somebody that's popular with a hit record. That doesn't mean they're gonna come tear the show down. That doesn't mean they're gonna give people what they want when they pay their money. But the one that's popular, the one that gets the job done, he gonna do what needs to be done. And that's what I want to work with, Art, the greatness of what this can offer. And some people may want less than that, but I always seek the greatness. So.
And you were a person, and as you credit Flash as well, that became a DJ that's a headliner that allowed the artist to get on your set, that allowed the artist to get on stage with you, because the crowd in theory was there to see you. So can you talk about the dynamics of how hip hop was in particular then, when the showcase literally was the DJ?
Yeah, it was always about the DJ first. That's why you always heard the MC would say, my DJ was this and that. And if you seen the group, you would see Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. You would see Charlie Chase and the Cold Crush Brothers. You would see Grand Wizard Theodore and the Fantastic Five. It was always mentioned the DJ first, because the DJ was the first element of it all. And when records came about in hip hop, at first DJs were scratching the record, but then after a while, you didn't need a DJ on the record anymore. So now they got pushed in the back because the MC became the front guy. Mm-hmm. That's where I came in. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I came in, I wanted to be looked at as an artist. I didn't want to be looked at as somebody just playing records or standing behind somebody. I wanted to be a force to be reckoned with against the guy that has the big hit platinum record. And that was my focus. So I took it in a way where it would be a one-man band. And we could take this all around the world. It's not a New York thing. It's a thing where it can go all around the world and touch everybody. And everybody could be influenced by it. And fortunately enough, Russell Simmons came with this television show for me, Def Comedy Jam, that was able to put me in the eyes of people in their living room. And now they got at least a start of what I was about. And I came to this city to do the concert with Def Comedy Jam. Now they got a full vision of what this really is. And then it just took from there. So I owe a lot to Russell for that. Now, I'm appreciative for what he did with that, because that was a big, big moment for me to get off what I was trying to get off.
Absolutely. And you crushed it for 7 years. And that show meant so much, not only for comics, but for the culture, and marrying music, in particular rap, and made it the soundtrack of our lives. So as a DJ, there have to be songs that stick out to you as some of your favorite songs to scratch, some of your favorite break beats. Can you acknowledge some of those in particular as you started to get into your craft?
Absolutely. Some of the best records to scratch on is Pump Me Up, Trumpet Funk, Run DMC, Peter Piper. It's like a DJ dream record to play. A lot of different break beats. I Can't Stop, Good Times, anything that has kind of hits on it. It's records like that that's fun to play, because it's exercise. When you play it, it's not just playing it. You gotta it's exercise. You're cutting, you're doing the thing. So it's an art. It's like painting something when you play those records, because of the way that you have to play them. Like I said, anybody can play these records. Right. They're there for anybody to play. It's how you play them. You know what I'm saying? That makes you special. That makes you different than everybody else. Same thing with making records. I put an album out last year called Love. I rhymed on the whole album. I produced the whole album. The album's incredible. I didn't need nobody to help me do that, because I know what people want out there. I know what my crowd is. I know I'm also a fan besides the person that delivers it. So that's how we all got to think. We got to think as a fan, as how the person feel when they pay their money and they come to see us. What would they want to feel like? What would make them want to come back to see us again? What would make the promoter want to hire us again to do a show? And that's how you become great and better. When it becomes not about you, it becomes about them. And that's what I always been. Always wanting the situation or the crowd to be better than they was before they seen it. And that's how it works.
And as an innovator, as somebody that has been there from the beginning, it has to be fascinating for you when you're watching late night TV shows and you see the DJs like a Questlove get their salute and get a chance to contribute to shows. You did that with Def Comedy Jam. What was it like to get that call from Russell that you were going to be a part of that? And what were those years like for you contributing to that show?
It was strange, because when he approached me about it, I didn't understand what he meant. he asked me what you talking about being on a comedy show. I was like, comedy, DJ comedy, I ain't get it. But I'm like, yo, it's HBO, it's Russell Simmons. Shut up, kid, just go do it. You know what I'm saying? And we ended up doing it. Man, it changed my life in the craziest way, man. It was just different. And you know, keep in mind when we doing the first tapes, I'm still not aware of how massive this is going to be. I'm thinking we're just doing the show as a comedy show, dope, cute, we out, right? Until we got the first ratings. And then we went to do the first live concert. And I'm behind the stage, behind the curtain, and the curtain raised, and these people were screaming for me like I was Michael Jackson.
Wow, dope.
Like, wow. And that's how I knew how big it really was. And every single night, every concert, everywhere we go, around the world, no matter where it was, no how long it was this pandemonium going on and these screams, and it just got crazy. And meanwhile, I'm on 25 other different tours going back and forth. And, you know, just, it was crazy. It was too crazy. I was doing 9 shows a week. I had to stop it. I had to tell my manager, yo, we just do the weekends. It was just getting too much. But Def Comedy Jam, the magnitude of what that did for all of us, me, Bernie Mac, rest in peace, Bill Bellamy, you know, Jamie Foxx, Martin, all of us, man, we all was able to grow from that show. Because before that show, there was not a comedy show for comedians. You see Richard Pryor, you see Eddie Murphy, you see Red Fox, the Normals, but there was so many comedians that wasn't getting known and recognized, and that show put them in the forefront to do that, as well as myself. So we are all grateful for what Russell did when it came to that.
Yep. No doubt, the Godfather. And shout out to Russell, rest in peace, Bernie Mac, no doubt, get well soon. My brother Jamie Foxx, Bill Bellamy killing it, doing this thing. And so, Kid, you've been on so many tours, done so many shows, done so many concerts. Can you acknowledge a couple of your favorite tours, some of the other artists that probably were on those tours that you were part of?
I think one of my favorite shows I ever did, I think was probably my best show I ever did, was when I helped Aaliyah, God bless her. They asked me, she wanted me to go on the Budweiser Superfest tour with her to help out. I don't usually go out and be behind people. It had to be somebody that, you know, was special, you know, and she was very special. She was like a little sister.
No doubt, baby girl.
Yeah, so she asked me to go out with her. On that tour was Mary J. Blige, Drew Hill, Bone Thugs and Harmony, and Genuine. So she had a lot of aggression around her. Her show was really a dancing show, so she needed some aggression. So that's what they came and got me to come out in the middle of her show to give her that aggression. And we came to the Garden, we came to Madison Square Garden. I must have did about 5 shows at the Garden. But this show I did, it probably, the magnitude of the people, the way they were screaming and the way it was shaking and looking. And I brought Busta Rhymes out with me too. This when he just put your hands where I could see. I brought him out after I did my set. I brought him out. And the show might as well have just been over after that. And me and Busta talk about this today. When we was up on stage, we felt the people screaming. We felt the wind from their breath, from the people screaming at us while we were on stage. I'm glad Busta was there to witness this, because when Busta, he said, "Kid, you remember when we felt that?" I was glad he was there to feel it, because I'd have told somebody they thought I was, you know, but he was there and witnessed this, man. It was the craziest show I ever did. My daughter's mother, she said, "Yo, I ain't never seen a show like that." She said, like people were just throwing people. It was crazy. So years later, Aaliyah dies.
Right.
So that was a memory that I was so glad I've done that. The same thing when I produced Nothing But Love for Heavy D. Yes. You know what I'm saying? His last big hit, I was able to give him something before he was gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, I worked with a lot of people, and then later on they're gone. You know, that's why we always got to celebrate our heroes, man. You never know. But I work with everybody, and you know, when you do something for Aaliyah, something like Aaliyah, man, and then she passed away, man, it's like, you know, I didn't even know how to accept that. I didn't know how to even deal with that. But I was glad I was able to come through for her and be there. You know, Pops, also rest in peace, Mike. Our pops was real cool. Made them happy. And that's it. After she passed away, I got a call from them, telling me how much they appreciate what I did and everything. So I was really, really glad I was able to do that for her. Rest in peace to Aaliyah.
And thank you for sharing that story. I'm pretty sure that's emotional for you as you think back, like you mentioned, over decades of hip hop and so many artists like Heavy D that you got a chance to work with and produce songs for, and Aaliyah as well. Just recently, I was in Brooklyn for the Book of Hove unveiling, and you won a Grammy for producing Jay-Z's Hard Knock Life. What was that like for you?
I won the Grammy. I gave him Hard Knock Life, the beat Hard Knock Life, but 45 King produced that record. He gave it to me for my album. I gave it to Jay. He was on tour. He heard me play it. I gave it to Jay. But I did It's Like That on my album, and he took the record It's Like That and put it on the Hard Knock Life album. So that's how I won the Grammy for that album. But really, it was a two-time win because I won the Grammy for It's Like That, and then Hard Knock Life became his biggest record to date.
Correct, still.
45 King produced that, so I was so happy that 45 King was able to get his recognition from that. It just worked out, man. It worked out really good. And I did Madonna. It was crazy getting that call. Madonna called me to ask me to produce for her. I was wow, you know what I'm saying? But it happened. It came out with a great, incredible record.
And I'm pretty sure a lot of people ask you the greatest, so I'm not gonna do that because you're too dope. I want to ask you, just over the decades, name some of the illest artists that you recall. Some of just microphone controllers, just the illest.
I mean, goes without saying, KRS-One, Nas, Slick Rick, one of the craziest with the pen, Twisted. I can go on and on and on and on. But I'm always asked, who's my top five? And my answer is always the same thing. I don't have a top five. There was a Michael Jordan.
Yep.
There was a Jalen Rose somewhere else when Jalen Rose was playing. Nobody knew about.
Correct.
Right? So the same thing. There's a lot of MCs that's incredible because to me, the top MCs are battle rappers. The most brilliant dudes there is battle rappers.
No doubt.
Right. So when you say top five, what do you mean? Top five seller? Top five show grosser? The richest MC? What do you mean top five? Because there's too many dope MCs. I'm a dope MC. The way I rhyme on my record, you think I can hang with Jay. I can hang with Nas the way I rhyme.
Right.
I'm not saying I'm better, but I could hang with them. So you got, when you say top five, what do you mean?
Thank you. Thank you for having me drill down on this because you went to my favorite category that inspires me in a lot of different areas of my life, and I gain inspiration from watching battle raps. I be watching Party Artie and Murder Move. I be watching them still to this day. So I want to
Rose, I did an album called Top Tier that I didn't put out yet. About 5 years ago with all the battle rappers. I was helping the battle rappers started 10 years ago when no artist was there. Before they got hot, I was the one trying to help them get hot. That's why I got so respected by all of them. And they came and did this album with me because I was trying to help them when nobody was trying to help them. When they was in video stores and on the street corners and stuff like that. So I called Loaded Lux, and me and Loaded Lux, we shot a half-hour thing for HBO, and it was incredible. But then I ended up doing this album that I didn't put out yet. But the album is incredible, man. I produced the whole album. Everybody's on it, from Lux to Chilla Jones. Everybody's on this album. But I was helping them way before they got on. But they're the most brilliant dudes to ever do it. And that's why they're getting everything they deserve right now. And I'm so happy that Smack is in the position that he's in now because he hustled a long time trying to get all these people on. And for him to give a platform to create opportunity for all these people, it's the same thing that Russell Simmons did with Def Comedy Jam.
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying? And Def Jam. So when you look at that, man, that's monumental with itself. You're giving people a chance to have an opportunity. An opportunity means everything. It's what you do with it that make it happen. But when somebody gives you something like that, you take that as a blessing.
What are and shout to Grandmaster Caz. I just had to say his name when you brought up battle rap, no doubt. What are some of your favorite battle raps that you got a chance to witness? Two artists going back and forth.
And LL and Kumo D. LL and Ice-T. Busy being Kumo D. 50 Cent and Ja Rule. Jay-Z and Nas.
Yes.
Like, real joints. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but then you look at a battle, the battle rap battles is different. Because in battle rap, it's way more personal. It's way more in depth. You're not making no records. There's no boundaries. There's none of that. It's what it is. That's why I couldn't be a battle rapper, because you couldn't talk about my mom and my girl without us fight. Period. That's it. You can't do it. So I just stay at my distance, but it takes a lot to have that type of brilliance and resilience to get up there, and try to be better than the next person, And I guess that's with everything, with basketball, with DJ, whatever it is that we're doing, we always want to be the best. You know what I'm saying? But what they do with that, man, it's a lot to remember, first of all.
Yes.
It's a lot to remember. It's a lot to craft. And if you know what battle rap is, it's not straight. It's not straight rhyming. It's word plays. It's name flips. It's, double entendres. It's all these different things mixed up that you have to know. And if you don't know battle rap, you'll be sitting there looking at it like, what the hell is this? I don't know what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely a different level. But a lot of battle rappers had a stigma they couldn't make good records. And that's the reason why I did the album. You know what I'm saying? They're great at what they do, but it wasn't great at making records. Now they're a little better. You know what I'm saying? You hear some of them, they're a lot better, but they have that stigma on them.
What was it like narrating hip hop's only Pulitzer Prize winning album, Kendrick Lamar's Damn? Because that album, it stands the test of time to me. And when people start talking about greatest no skip albums of all time, that to me deserves to be a part of that conversation, and you narrated it.
And that's the reason why my album, The Love, is a no skip album, because I thought if my album starts off another world premiere, just like I did on Kendrick's album. That's how my album started. I took how he made his album, no skips, and made sure that every record on my album was the same kind of way, where you hear it and don't skip nothing. That album, that Damn album, man, first of all, I told him, when we was in the studio, I said to him, yo, why did you come and get me? You got Battle Cat out there in LA, you got Pooh, all these dudes that you could have went and got. He said, I love all those dudes, man. He's like, but I know what you did, kid, for music. I know what you did for the DJ business. I know what you've done, period. And I wanted the authenticity on my album. He said, I was like, damn, how? He's like, I know everything about you. I know everything you've done. So for a young dude like that to really know, and then put me on an album where we don't have no relationship like that. We wasn't friends. We don't know each other like that. You know what I'm saying? But for him to do that, and then it become the #1 album, the only hip hop album in history to win a Pulitzer Award, I'm on that forever. You know what I'm saying? This man put my voice in places around the world I've never even been to. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, somebody give you an opportunity, no matter who I am, no matter what it is, and how big the opportunity is or small it is, it's an opportunity. You will cherish that, you appreciate that. And I appreciate what that man did, because he didn't have to do it. Like I said, he could have easily got Battle Cat, which is a legend in itself. You know what I'm saying? And he's my dog. So I appreciate it, man. Shout out to Kendrick Lamar, man. I hope he keeps going and doing what he do. He's one of the greatest.
No doubt. And also, I want to thank you for something. And that's playing your role in the Stop the Violence movement and using your platform to get the message out there that hip hop is not about violence. It's about culture, storytelling, fashion, DJ, graffiti, like the legendary Chris Parker, KRS-One, always preached and talked to us about. So what are your hopes for the future of hip hop in the next generation?
That everybody grows up, man. And the older dudes show the younger dudes how to do it, and the younger dudes take it in. You know, understand that just people use the excuse of I'm young, so I'm just wilding. You're young and you wilding because you don't have no guidance.
Right.
And it starts with the household. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these kids don't have fathers around, and that's where it really starts. The fathers got to be in these households and teach these kids and show things of how to grow up. You know what I'm saying? How to move and how to do things. And that's what the problem is. So you come off the street, come into this hip hop thing, you bring what you brought in the street to music. You know what I'm saying? That's not what music is. Right. You should have to die over music. You know what I'm saying? Like something that's supposed to be fun, So in that sense, I hope people really get what's at stake and understand that, you're taking people's lives, you're hurting people, and this is something that could take care of us, something that could treat us right and go give generation wealth for years to come. But when you go and you make these gang records or these records where you're killing people and you're exciting these things, it just makes it go down further. And I'm not knocking what kind of music is made. There's movies with guns and gun violence, and it is what it is. It's a part of what it is. But let's utilize it in the right way. Let's not take it to where, anybody could just jump in and bring the negative to it and it messes up for everybody. I just feel like, this is bigger than that. It's bigger than us. See it for what it is. See that it can take care of many people, take care of take care of everybody. Bring all this other crazy shit to it. All it does is just bring the negative, the energy that we don't need. You know what I'm saying? We don't need, we're already going through enough. So that's my, I don't want to sound like I'm preachy, but that's my whole thing.
That needs to be said, and it's validated when it comes from somebody like you, who's seen all sides of the craft, witnessed every inch of the culture, and you are woven in it. So it's very important for it to be said, and I appreciate that it's being said by you, because two terms that I always say that young people are using incorrectly today, and you just alluded to taking the game from the elder statesman. Number one is hating. Just because I'm trying to give you some game or I disagree with you, that don't mean I'm hating. And number two, snitching. If I see somebody push down an old lady and take her purse or steal her car, and I tell the police, that ain't snitching.
That's not snitching. And that's where we get it wrong. We make our own rules. If you get into something that you're not supposed to be getting into, which is like a drug game,
yep.
You know what you in for. You know what comes with that. You close your mouth, do what you do. But if you see somebody being harmed, beat down, robbed, and you going, no, I'm going to do. I'm telling you now, I want to do that. I'm going to make sure that man get caught if I don't catch him to beat his ass myself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we got to get our mind right about what's what, and everybody's so quick to have a suggestion. Everybody got a platform to have an opinion. Everybody, knows everything. Everybody's a philosopher, but that the rule could be, there has to be some kind of line of authority. There has to be some kind of line of command to where people follow a certain kind of protocol, and there's not nobody telling you what to do, but it's just some things got to remain the same, like respect. I don't want to hear these new millenniums, they think different. No, smack them in their goddamn head to get out of line and put them in their place, period, whatever. Yes. And that's how I think. That's how my father would have treated me. You step out of line, your ass is, we're going to put you straight. And that needs to be. Mm-hmm. If a kid gets out of line and their parents whip their ass, they should.
Yes.
They should. It shouldn't be an abused thing. You don't abuse them, but you teach them a lesson. Yes, that's how we learn.
Yes.
What not to do. And, and we appreciate it. I appreciate my father whipped my ass when I was wrong.
No doubt.
It taught me what to do. So the way the world is right now, we have internet. We have, everybody got all these different ideas of what abuse is, and and yeah, it is out there. But when it comes to family, nobody should be able to tell you how to raise your child. Correct. Nobody should be able to tell you what's right for your family. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And that's where the problem comes at, because these kids, think that they can talk back to the kids, to the parents, say whatever they want to the parents, you know, be disrespectful, come back and forth whenever they want, because of that sense of authority that's not there no more.
Yes.
You say something wrong with the kid, or you hit the kid, or shake him up, you going to jail. No, come on. It's like, where is the structure of taking care of what needs to be taken care of at?
No doubt.
And that's what it is.
And like KRS-One coined, stop the violence in hip hop. And before I go to my Gone in 60 Seconds rapid fire segment, it wouldn't be right if I didn't ask you to just give me a KRS-One story. Because when I start talking about the greatest artist of all time, I think he's my favorite.
KRS-One, first of all, he's my daughter's godfather. He was there when my daughter was born. I was on stage at Tampa, Florida. He was there at the hospital when the baby was born, Davina Love. Our relationship is like brothers. We did so many different things together. I was there when PM Dawn got thrown off the stage. I was there when Nelson Mandela came out of jail, and KRS and myself, we performed at Yankee Stadium, which I'm about to do Yankee Stadium again. We performed at Yankee Stadium in celebration of Nelson Mandela. Something I shared with my brother. Like, you know, many different shows we did. What we're about to do now, coming up on the 11th. He is the epitome of hip hop.
Yes.
I watched this dude rip buildings down, seize of people, and just destroy places, man. Like not did good. Destroy places. Like, this is what this guy represents. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant mind. Reads all the atlases, reads all the dictionaries, all the way through. Like, he has a library with all these books he read from beginning to end. He reads them 2-3 times. Like, this dude's mind is way over here. And, you know, he's somebody that should be celebrated.
No doubt.
He's somebody that should be celebrated, because what he does changes lives. What he's been doing changes lives. You know, the Human Education Against Lies project we did, the Hill Project, that was after the Stop the Violence Project, Self-Destruction. Now, all these years later, we're doing it again. We're doing a new Stop the Violence Project. New album. I just submitted 2 beats for the album. So yeah, he continues to try to make it good for our people.
Wow. Shout out to the legend, the teacher, KRS-One. And before I let you get out of here, Kid Capri, I have a rapid fire segment called Gone in 60 Seconds. You ready to do this?
Yes, sir.
Of all the artists you've collaborated with, which one truly exceeded your expectations?
Jay-Z. Because when I was recording with Jay-Z, I put the beat on, he just went like this. Said, play it again, and played it again. He went like this. Said, all right, come on, we're in the booth. Didn't write down nothing. It was the most magical thing I ever seen in my life. The dude didn't write one word down and went in the booth and made It's Like That, the record we have now. I'm a hop, skipping the jump, ripping the pump. He did that in his mind, no nothing. And I was there to see it. I was there to see it, because I was giving him a different record. I was giving him a different beat. And this beat, the beat that we did, the record Is Like That, I had that looped on the tape because I couldn't get it to lock on the machine for some reason, but I had it looped on the tape, and I was playing the tape. When he walked past the studio while I was playing the tape, he said, yo, what's that? I said, there's something I had. He said, yo, we need to do that. 5 minutes. I had this record 5 years, I couldn't get it right. 5 minutes after he said that, I had it right. He ended up doing the record, and he ended up going in the booth. One take. He did one take, and he did one ad-lib track. That was it. He did the hook.
Wow.
Most incredible thing I ever seen.
Wow. And so ain't no question why he got a book of hold. Next up, I have to ask you this. You rip down stages from city to city, state to state, internationally, country to country. But I want to ask you a question as a fan. What's been your favorite performance to attend as a fan?
I'm going to be honest with you. I think one of the best shows I ever seen wasn't hip hop. One of the best shows I ever seen was R. Kelly. Facts. One of the best put together shows, concerts from beginning to end was Kells. As far as hip hop is concerned, Eminem really amazed me. Lil Wayne really amazed me. Drake really amazed me. But if you're speaking about the older statesmen, KRS-One, Redman, Nas, it's so many, man. It's so many. It's a different excitement when you see these guys because you're familiar with the music so much. You're familiar with the likeness. So, and then you start remembering when you grew up with the music, what happened and all that. And so that's what makes it so infectious when you hear it, opposed to hearing something that's brand new. Nowadays, music doesn't stick the way it stuck back then. Something comes out, be out a couple of days, it's over with. Very microwavable.
Boom.
Right now, the older joints, that's why classics are called classics, because classic means it's there forever. It means that it's no ending to it. It's just what it is. It never gets old. You know what I'm saying? So it's harder to make a record like that nowadays because you have, at one time there was a structure. There was people that had artist development. You went through a struggle and everything. Right now everybody has a computer to throw a record out, whether they're artists or not. And if the record trips over rock and it does good, they're out. Meanwhile, they had no artist development, no knowledge, no doors closing their face. None of this stuff happened to where they understand what they're in. But and then you have a whole massive world that has access to this computer that can do it, and you can't stop it. So it cheapens down the music. It cheapens it down. You hear everybody sounding the same, beats the same. Everybody's a singer on the record. It's like, what's the next thing? What's next? What's going to be? You know what I'm saying? And that's not to knock a lot of dope stuff that's out, but let's do something different. Everybody's doing the same thing, and that's why I did the Love album the way I did it. I wanted to be different. There's something there for everybody, whether you're with your son or your grandfather. You know what I'm saying? And that's how music should go. An album should be made, a body of work.
Correct. How about naming an up-and-coming artist you think more people should know about?
Simba.
That's my guy. Great answer. I love him so much.
Simba is super dope, man. Simba's super dope. Cool dude, man.
This song recently, that's my guy.
Yeah, I rock with Simba. He's one of them guys. He's definitely one. My man Ock 2Gs. He's definitely another one. Who else? It's a lot of dudes, man. A lot of people. You know, but Simba definitely I like not only the way he performed, I like how he moved.
Me too.
You know, I like how he moved, and that right there means a lot to me as well. You know, there's a lot of talented people, but are you the type of person that treat people well and treat people fairly? And you know, do you mush your career in people's face? Like a lot of times I look on the net and I see people showing their success, and it's one thing to celebrate your success, but it's a different when you celebrate the wrong things and you're mushing your success in poor people's faces. You know what I'm saying? You're not thinking about that. Like everything doesn't have to be. You have to show everything. You have to show everything you possess. And when I'm on the net, I show work. I always try. That's what I show. I don't show things I own, cars I drive, my house, I don't show that. Like people have that. I show what innovates and what inspires people, and that's the work. Because basically, that's where all these accolades and all these things come from. The work. So show the work and inspire in that way, instead of you wishing on everything that you're doing and everybody fair. I'm not knocking anybody that does it. It just ain't.
No doubt. I agree. I totally agree. And I was asked that question recently. I said Simba and I said Dave East. Even though, like,
absolutely. I just did a record with Dave East. It's out right now. It just came out.
That's my guy. He's so
love Dave East, man. He's another one. Absolutely. Definitely.
He's so. And last but certainly not least, and I appreciate you taking the time, please tell the audience what's next for Kid Capri.
Yo, I'm into this. There's a lot going on. I have my show on Sirius XM Fly. I've been doing it for 7 years. That's Channel 47. That's been going on. But I'm also putting out the next album, More Love. I did the Love album, putting out more Love next. Also doing a lot of television stuff, a lot of behind the scenes television stuff that I'm never going to be on the camera for because I want to do some of the behind the scenes things. Some of these shows that they have out here, you know, they need that edge. And sometimes people have a job and they just want to do their job, but they don't really know how to do their job. So right. we want to attack that. And the same thing like with the BET Awards I did. It's the first time I didn't have no host. I was pretty much the host of the show. And what I did behind the scenes, see, that's what people see. They see what they see, but they don't see the behind the scenes stuff. And what I did behind the scenes really impressed a lot of people like Jesse Collins. You know, so he knows I know what I'm doing. And so I want to do a lot of that stuff too. But also, you know, they want Kid Capri to be out there doing what I'm doing, what I've been doing. So I'm still on the road doing my thing. I'm still, you know, making the music and putting different ideas together. So it's going to be a whole lot of different stuff I'm doing, but I'm always moving. I made a movie and I'm 95% done with this movie, but things keep happening. So it's hard for me to put the movie out because I'm always having something done. How I put it out last year or the year before when my album would have been in it. The fact that I did the BET, the Superdome, and all these different things would have been in it. So at some point I will put it out, but right now it's just too many things going on and I'm just flying.
Well, I want to talk to you about that movie because I'm working with a couple of budgets too. And I think we can work together and get that thing to the finish line, my brother.
That's what I think. And once you see it, you see how exciting it is. My album, you know what? There's documentaries are so big because it's the story. The same way country music is big because of the story. People love stories. So when you see a documentary, that's what intrigues you, the story. But when you see a documentary that has the story and it's cinematic as well, when you see how it's edited and all the different stuff to go with it, it makes it more like a motion picture than just a story of a documentary. And that's what we did with this thing. So you should see it, and maybe that would probably be a great thing for us to do, brother.
Yes, indeed.
Get together and make it happen.
Taking the time, and we're gonna kick it about that. The legendary, the innovator, the trailblazer, Grammy award-winning pioneer, DJ Kid Capri. I appreciate you taking the time, my brother. Much love.